First dates can be a tricky game, as ultimately it always boils down to what impression one leaves during that initial interaction. While some first dates are doomed from the beginning, others stumble at hurdles due to some common mistakes. The rules for dating have evolved in the digital age. However, most of the traditional dating do's and don'ts still apply, hence, avoiding these common mistakes will help you have a successful first meeting and might even score you a second date. To watch our previous video of advice for a healthy relationship, press the I button above and subscribe to Dating Guru. It makes a terrible first impression and guarantees the other person starts the date annoyed. If it cannot be avoided, text with an apology and apologize again when you arrive. A common mistake that people make on a date is checking their phones too much. This sends the signal that you don't respect the other person's time. If you are waiting on an important call or email, be sure to give your date a heads up. Having a few drinks on your date is absolutely fine, but make sure to put a limit on it. Making a good impression means staying present and not becoming too sloppy during the date. It's very important to make your first date light and fun. Don't indulge in intense and deep conversations, making your first date boring. If you want to impress your partner, then turn on your humorous side. Nothing screams entitlement, irritability, or obnoxiousness more than being rude to a waiter. If the waiter is just that bad, tell your date what you find unacceptable about the service and that you plan to say something. Asking questions conveys engagement. If you do not ask your date questions, they will assume you're not interested in them and will promptly lose interest in you. If you're shy or unsure about what to ask, think of topics ahead of time. Unless you're asked directly, avoid soliloquies about your ex. It will only make you look like you haven't moved on. If you are asked, say the briefest, nicest thing you can and subtly and politely try to change the subject. The problem with this topic is it usually comes across as a must-have or deal-breaker list most people cannot meet, even if you just intend it as nice-to-have guidelines. In other words, it likely turns off the other person rather than endearing them to you. Even when the date is going amazingly well and you think the feeling is mutual, avoid calling your date babe or honey. It simply presumes too much familiarity too soon, and some people find it patronizing, despite the good intention. There is absolutely no need to announce all your flaws on a first date. Modesty is appealing. Low self-esteem lesser. Making one self-effacing joke is fine, but not a string of them. Telling someone on a first date that you're bad at dating is like the director coming out before the movie to announce that it stinks. It kills any interest or motivation the other person might have had. Bragging in general is a turn-off. This includes name-dropping, discussing how much you paid for your new ski house, or describing how amazing you were at beach volleyball. Saying you just came back from Greece is fine. Saying you flew first class and stayed on a private yacht is unnecessary and might create resentment if the person you're with has never left the country. There's a reason you shouldn't discuss politics or religion on a first date. When you have strong opinions or beliefs, it's easy to get a bit overexcited and go from participating in a discussion to monopolizing one. Be cautious when discussing anything about which you feel passionately and make sure you're not overwhelming the other person. So these were the list you should take care of when you're on a date. We hope you enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments about your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, do like it and make sure you subscribe to the channel.